What's up guys, how you doing? Welcome back to AFC Game by Game. 2-0 away from home against Leicester in the Carabao Cup. Hardly the game of the season, certainly not the most exciting one. But you know what? Carabao Cup, it's one of those competitions where everyone's got their own unique spin on it. It's a trophy, we're in it to win it. Whilst we're in it, you've got to take it seriously. And even though it is a competition that isn't held in the same regard as the FA Cup, the Premier League for example, I think we're all in agreement with that. It's another chance for silverware, and as far as I'm concerned, keeping up that winning momentum is so important at this stage in the season when we need to keep the positivity going, having already had 2 wins this season. And I actually thought we played okay tonight, given the wholesale changes we made in the team. And what I love about what Mikel Arteta is doing at Arsenal is so much. I love everything he's doing at the club at the minute, but the one thing that really excites me is that all these players, all these changes we're making in the team, we still play the same way, with the same identity, the same philosophy. Maybe not to the same level that we would if we were starting the game with the likes of Aubameyang, Granit Xhaka, Hector Bellerin, etc. But nonetheless, the players that we bring in, they're still singing from the same hymn sheet. And it's just that philosophy that he's drilling into these players, that way of playing, that culture is really exciting to see. First things first, I think there were so many people that were anticipating we'd see Matteo Guendouzi and Mesut Ozil in the squad tonight. And I can't tell you just how much I want to know what is going on there. I would love to know exactly what is going on there. And I don't want to talk about Mesut Ozil in particular, because it's just beyond lunacy what is going on with him, because no one knows what is going on. Arteta has come out and said that every player gets a fresh start, etc. It doesn't matter if you've done something 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, you get a fresh start at Arsenal. And obviously that doesn't apply to the likes of Ozil or Guendouzi. I don't know if they're being frozen out of the club because we want to get them off the wage bill, if we're trying to force their hand to get them out of the club. It's a bizarre situation. It really is incredibly bizarre. And when you look at the players that we do have in midfield, the likes of Joe Willock, Mohamed El Nene, you can't help but think maybe Guendouzi, maybe Ozil could offer something in that position. Particularly in place of someone like Joe Willock, who I thought was a bit anonymous this evening. Did a lot of running around, but really failed to make an impact in the game. You've got to think maybe Mesut Ozil could provide and prove to be a better option than someone like him. But it's a peculiar situation. As I say, it's extremely bizarre, and I've not known anything quite like it at Arsenal. It's a real shame for a player that I think so many of us admire, and he's being treated in this way. And I'm not saying that in a way as if poor Mesut Ozil, because we don't know if he's done something to aggravate what's going on with him. But I love Mesut Ozil. I love what he did when he came to the club. That whole transfer from Real Madrid to Arsenal in 2013, it was unbelievably exciting at the time. But yeah, I'm not going to go off on a tangent. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Arsenal's win against Leicester this evening. As I say, it wasn't the most exciting game, and there aren't too many talking points from it. The first goal we scored was a classic Carling Cup goal, own goal from Leicester. Pepe hitting it off the post, back into the path of the Leicester City defender, and it ricocheting into the goal. We had a few good opportunities to score beforehand. Reiss Nelson came close in the early minutes, but apart from that, we dominated, dictated play. Came close, had a lot of corners, dominated possession, but couldn't really get that cutting edge in on goal until Pepe created that opportunity for himself. And what I loved about this goal was just how furious and Nketiah was at the fact that Pepe hadn't passed it to him. He can just tell he's so goal hungry, wants to get on the score sheet, and he did that in the last minute. And again, another well-worked move from Arsenal. And arguably, we should have had a penalty in that first half as well. Bukayo Saka being taken down looked like a clear and obvious penalty. I'm pretty sure if VAR was in play, we'd have got that, but wasn't to be. And thankfully we've still managed to win rather convincingly tonight. I mean, don't get me wrong, Leicester had their fair share of chances. They will have felt that they could have scored in this game, but we have kept a clean sheet with a back three of Kolasinac, Luiz and Rob Holding. Hardly our first choice centre-back choices, but it's good to see that we're a bit more defensive resolute. I thought Luiz was exceptional tonight, and I thought Kolasinac had a much more improved game compared to the one he had on the weekend. Still don't think he's at the level we need, but he was a lot better than he was at the weekend. And yeah, I mean, I'm generally still, whatever players go out there, I'm still excited about what they can do in an Arsenal shirt. I thought Reiss Nelson was very exciting tonight, and there's talk about him going out on loan. Were we putting him in the shop window perhaps? I look at someone like Joe Willock, and he's a player that I think definitely needs a loan, because I just don't think he offers anything to the Arsenal midfield at the moment. I like him, and whilst he's 21, I mean, he's still got time on his side, but I think he needs a full season playing regularly in the Premier League, and I think that's something we should look to do before the end of the transfer window, especially if we are to bring in another midfielder. Fingers crossed. I think we all know the names on our lips that we're talking about at the minute, but He's a player I'd like to see get a loan. I wouldn't be totally against Reiss Nelson having a loan either. I think he's going to struggle for game time. And as I say, this game highlighted just how huge our squad is. It's easy to forget we've not got Mustafi in the team, Callum Chambers in the team, Mari in the team, Martinelli in the side, and we still managed to make this amount of changes. It's crazy when you think about it. In fact, it's borderline obscene. We definitely need to ship players off in the next couple of weeks, but it's going to be interesting. 3 wins out of 3, as I say, through to the next round of the Cup. Liverpool next on Monday, and we should be brimming with confidence. And it was a good performance tonight. I think that's the one big thing we should take from this. And Nketiah with another goal, 2 in 2 for him, really providing a serious threat for Lacazette at the moment. And good to have these options. And if Nelson continues to play well, if he is to remain at the club, he's a good asset to have. And yeah, good to get another win, and still very excited about what Mikel Arteta is building at Arsenal. It shouldn't go underappreciated that he is getting all these results, building something so exciting in his first ever managerial job. I think people forget that. You'd think he's a seasoned pro, that he's been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years, but he's not. He's been doing it for less than a year, which is mental to think. So all the admiration, all the props goes to Mikel Arteta. And I know I'm just talking about him after a scrappy-ish win against Leicester, but what he's building is genuinely exciting. I still find it unfathomable that there are people out there that can't buy into or appreciate what he's doing at the club, given the amount of rubbish we had to sit through towards the end of Wenger's era, towards the end of Unai Emery's era. I mean, it's so obvious to see that something different is happening, and there are going to be bumps along the road, as we can all expect. I don't think you can expect us to be undefeated in these games coming up against the likes of Liverpool, City, United. We play Leicester again soon. I think, I don't want to say it's inevitable that we'll lose one of those games, because I expect us to perform and play to the best of our ability. But I think you've got to accept, as I say, there'll be bumps along the road. It won't always be pretty, but he's building something, and we've spent 30 odd million quid this summer on Gabriel. Apart from that, we've got Willian on a free. We've shipped off Martinez for 20 odd million. We've basically broken even so far this summer. So we've still got money there to spend, you would hope. And I still think there's business to be done. And that's what excites me about Arsenal at this current period in time. Would have liked to have seen Saliba tonight, wasn't to be. But apart from that, nothing else to add. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments box below. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. And as always, I'll speak to you very, very soon. See you later, guys.